everyone, Tina here. Welcome to Try It Out Tuesday. I'm so glad you can join me today. Today we're going to create a card using a stamp set that's been in my stash. I've been trying to use stash items for Try It Out Tuesday. And today we're kind of going to do a little mix and matching. This stamp set's from Spellbinders. It's part of I believe, a Cardmaker 2 release. I'll list it down below, but this is a clear stamp that Spellbinders made from a Fun Stamper's Journey red rubber stamp that was slightly larger. I did create a card earlier last year using a stamp set that's similar, and I'll link that video at the end if you want to check it out. But let's jump in and create some froggy cards. These guys are so cute, and I just love all the encouraging sentiments that are in here. We're going to bring in our stamping positioner and some alcohol marker friendly cardstock. I'm actually going to tape it in there. And then we are going to take, there's a froggy that's holding a leaf, and then there's two other froggies. We're going to take the two other frogs and put those on our cardstock. And you know, instead of using my Memento Tuxedo black ink, I'm going to use Memento Rich Cocoa ink. I want to keep my frogs a little bit on the warmer side to kind of go with my color theme. I'm going to stamp this a couple times. My ink pad's pretty dry. I did purchase another one, I just can't find it. Okay. So cute. Once we have our frogs stamped, we'll set this aside, and then we are going to do a little bit of coloring. I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to play a little bit of music while I color. And I do list the colors up there in that top corner for you guys. Coloring is going to be pretty basic. I'm basically only going to use 5 colors, but when I'm done coloring, I will get you back. Okay, coloring is all done. Next, we are going to trim these, and then I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to fussy cut each one of these out. I'm not sure if the Spellbinders has coordinating dies for these guys. If they do, I'll list them, but I don't mind fussy cutting. How cute are those? Okay, my fussy cutting is all done, and I think they just look adorable. Okay, let's set these aside. I'm going to zoom back out, and then now we're going to create our background. I'm going to do a little bit more die cutting. I'm going to use a Foliage 1 set that I've had forever and ever. I forgot how much I love this leaf foliage, so we're going to die cut out this leaf with some green cardstock. Couple times here, and then I'm going to be using the Birch Press Big Friend Sugar Script. Also, there's fun sentiments in there, but I thought I would accompany with a friend. And then I'm also going to take some white cardstock, and I'm going to be using the Paper Rose. Let me get a piece of cardstock. I'm going to die cut out This is called the Card Creator 3. I don't use this very often only because, let me show you. I love this, but it leaves a little bit of a border left and right, and then it doesn't quite go to the top or bottom of an A2. So, but I think I'm going to be able to work with this today. So I'm going to die cut this out with white cardstock. And for my friend, we're going to use white cardstock. And I'm also going to die cut out with a friend. And I'll be right back. Okay, once I have everything die cut, I did trim down a panel to fit behind my window. Speaking of window, you can see the sunshine coming in. I love that. Now, instead of doing regular white cardstock, I did decide to go ahead and put a piece of double-sided adhesive behind my shadow or outline of my friend. This way, I can just remove it and add it to the fun foam that I die cut out. Makes it a little bit easier. I could just glue it too, but I'm going to adhere this. Just like so. So we have a little bit of dimension. Now, I do want to do a little shading in my background. So to do that, I have a couple different oxide inks. We're going to start with mustard seed. And I'm going to use my blending brushes. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of yellow, about 3/4 of the way on my panel. And I want to make sure that I have enough color showing for it to show behind my friend here. Okay, once I have my yellow, I'm going to add a little yellow to the center of my sentiment that says friend also. Good. Just a little bit of shading. Next, I'm going to go in with my green Distress Oxide ink. I'm going to use my blending brush. And for the green, I'm going to add a little bit of color just below the yellow, kind of blending them both together. And I'll do the top. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to add a little bit of green to the top of my friend. Give this a little bit of color. Okay, and then we have our leaves. I'm going to add a little shading with my green to these too, just so we have some color difference. Maybe just around the edges would be really pretty. Let's see. For my next color, we're going to use Faded Jeans. I think this is a real pretty blue. And we're going to pick up some ink and go over the top. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go over my green one more time, just so it kind of blends a little nicer. I'm loving the way this looks. Before I take this away, I am going to go over the bottom of my friend with the blue. Okay, my panel is all done. Next, I'm going to bring in my little box, and then I'm going to be using some Hero Arts White Iridescent Shimmer Mist. Let's shake this up really good. Kind of do a test spray, and then we'll do a little bit of shimmer. I think that's going to work out great. I just love how subtle that is. I'm going to use my heat gun and speed up the drying. Okay, once we have our background done, I'm going to take my window pane panel and we're going to adhere that directly to our background. Okay. Now after we have this done, I'm going to flip it over. We're going to add some fun foam behind here. Okay, I have a piece of cardstock. This is, I just run through my paper pads, and it was kind of like a smoky blue. I'm going to go ahead and add this all the way, actually, yeah, all the way to the left. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my window pane all the way to the right. Actually, we have a little overhanging from our background. I want to trim that off. Okay. I think that looks good. Okay, now we have to add our foliage. I am going to add some small foam squares behind here. Just on the bigger leaves. And then on the smaller ones here, we are going to add some adhesive. And then I want one on the bottom. Next, we're going to adhere our friend. And you know what? I just realized I don't have the eye for my friend. And that's not a good thing because I gotta dot the eye. So I might have to go back and dot the eye. But let's add our sentiment to our background. Add the eye. Now we get to add our cute little frogs. And you know what? I'm only going to use one, guys. I think there's too much going on for my extra frog. I think I'm going to use this guy. So let's add a foam square behind here. Sometimes you just don't want to do... Sometimes I want to put too much on the card, and sometimes it looks good, but sometimes it looks better without more. More is less, I guess. And I'm going to add this guy right in the middle. I think it's going to look just adorable. Okay, we gotta finish off our sentiment. Now I have friend. I'm going to stamp with some white cardstock, but I do want to do a little bit of a color gradient. So we'll add, I'm sticking around, and we're going to do a little bit of masking with this. Okay, I'm going to use my small foam squares. We'll add those behind. Once I have my sentiment adhered, I'm going to go ahead and add some bubbles. I haven't added my my bubbles in a long time. So let's add those. Let's go ahead and add some clear droplets. We'll put these back. And then that. Actually, should we add googly eyes? Nah. I think that looks so sweet and so adorable, and I think it's a great encouragement card. So that's my project for Try It Out Tuesday. I thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next Tuesday for another project. Have a great day, and we will see you again soon, guys. Bye-bye.